Hi everyone, I'm going to explain the process of how I drilled a steel bar to fit a Husqvarna. So, you need masonry bits, carbide masonry bits. The size I used is a 1/4 inch. And you put it on a hard surface. If you have a drill press and all that good stuff, you're going to be way ahead. But all I got is a hand drill. So I put it on a hard surface and I dripped water on it, and it takes quite a while to get through this hardened steel of the chainsaw bar. I just did it from one side, and then it's going to leave a little bit of burr on the back side, you can see right here. And you just flat file that off. So once you get both holes drilled out, because you want to do both so you can flip your bar to keep your wear even. You can run this with the bigger holes on your still saw as well. Just because the hole's bigger doesn't mean it's gonna ruin it for your other saw. So this isn't a Husky specific bar now. It's both steel and Husky. It's compatible with. Now this is the 32-inch bar. Put that right there so you can see it. So, interesting. Husqvarna for a 28-inch bar runs 93 drivers. On their 32-inch bar, they run 105 drivers. As does Stihl. They run 105 drivers on their 32s, but their 28s are 91 drivers. So I have my Husky specific 28-inch bars, but for my 32s, I'm like, well, I've already got a couple of them in the steels. They're nice and light. We all know how this Samura bar turned out. So I decided to drill one out. Another thing I had to do though, because this is an old bar, it's been used quite a lot. In case the project failed, I wanted to use one that's been beat up a little bit. The adapter that goes over your bar studs. I'll zoom this in one touch. So the bar studs are different sizes than your steel. I'll show you on my Samara bar right here. The Husqvarna bar studs are the slot is smaller, the steel is bigger. So you have to have this little adapter piece. It's one-sided. There's a divot. Oops. It's one-sided. There's a divot cut out right here to go over this little bolt right there. So this is one-sided. It goes on like so. And then you put, I'll back it out again because this is going to be a little difficult zoomed in. You put the bar on and it's a snug fit. But since this is an old bar and I've used it for a couple years on my 660s and 661s, this was too tight to fit the adapter in. It wouldn't go in the bar. So I had to put it on my sanding wheel and I had to sand this down on both sides evenly, and I got it to fit. It's nice and uniform, but I just had to shrink it down to fit the bar. Another thing I found that I couldn't get my 105 link driver over my sprocket, so I ended up having to grind the tip of the bar slot here forward a little bit. I used a Dremel tool and a stone and just kind of worked it out a little bit so I could get the chain to fit over. It was a used chain, about halfway or better on its life, so it stretched a bit. I might have to go a little more to fit a brand new chain on it. I don't know, it's just not quite lining up right for some reason. So I've ground it out and we'll see how it does. I haven't tried it yet. But once you go through the process of basically, you don't want to burn it because it softens it up, but you drip water on it, you drill it through, And you file it off. You got it set in there. That's the longest part, and then drilling this out. And then you want to have a couple of these on hand. I have another one and I don't know where it is. And that's what you don't want to happen in the woods is you drop one. Oh, where's my other one? You need to have a few of them, but you also need to make sure they all fit. So, basically that's it. It's not a terribly hard process. You just need, I would get a couple of the 1/4 inch carbide tipped masonry bits because I used the first one on the one hole and then I went to do the second hole and it was just taking a lot longer. I switched bits and it went through a lot better. So I think I warmed it up too much and it burned the tip out a bit. So yeah, there's the process of it. Now I can run this bar on my Husqvarna with the insert and run all my 105 link chains, hopefully. It really sucks having to have the 28-inch bars. You've got your chain bag out there, and you've got 91 drivers and 93 drivers on your chains. So that's why I've been buying Oregon chain for my Husqvarna so I can tell them apart. You could probably run a 93 on the Stihl, but you're not going to go the other way around. So hopefully this is helpful. Yeah, it's not a terribly hard process. It just takes a little bit of water dripping and patience to get these holes burned through. And you just file them down, and on a new bar, this adapter would probably fit in easily. But you know, Stihl bars got this kink in the back, so I don't know if that's been collapsed over time and wear, heat, who knows. I mounted this on my 28-inch bar, one of my Stihl bars, and it fit right in. It's a newer bar. So I think just this old 32 is a little bit worn out. But yeah, if I end up mounting a 28-inch bar, I'll actually go through the whole drilling process and show that whole bit. So there you have it. Best of luck.